Yeah.
Look good up here. Are you serious? Why?
Shoot. Is Hester? Oh, that's right. Put her on the board. She's too low to win, though, isn't she? Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday, March 15th council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. Our invocation and pledge of allegiance this afternoon will be given by Councilwoman Hill. Would you please stand? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, I have for us a meditation on leadership and encouragement, on giving and receiving support to each other in challenging times. I was inspired by the words found in the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verses 8 through 13. Then Amalek came and fought with Israel. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose some men for us and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses told him and fought with Amalek, while Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Whenever Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. And whenever he lowered his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands grew weary. So they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side. So his hands were steady until the sun set. And Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the sword. Doing big things. This is no longer the word of God. This is Jenny Hill word. Doing big things, important things. It takes hard work, it takes clarity of purpose, and determination to stand together when challenges arise and arrows fly. So may we each be a leader, a rock, and a hand to lean on as we move through this life together. Thank you. Move to agenda.
Thank you, ma'am. We have no special presentations this afternoon. Could I have a motion on the minutes? We have a motion to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. Ordinances on final reading this afternoon are all planning items. Madam Clerk, if there's no objection from the council, would you please take A through F together as a package, please?
Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located in the 800 block of Signal Mountain Road and the 01 portion of a property located in the 100 block of Russell Avenue from R1 residential zone, R2 residential zone, and 01 office zone to R4 special zone. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 7503 Igo Gap Road from R1 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift conditions 1 through 7 from ordinance number 9735 on the property located at 7610 Goodwin Road and an unaddressed property located in the 7600 block of Goodwin Road, subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 4000 Tennessee Avenue from R4 Special Zone to M1 Manufacturing Zone to UGC Urban General Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 2378 Chestnut Street from M1 Manufacturing Zone to UGC Urban General Commercial Zone with a condition. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 3619 Fifth Avenue from R1 Residential Zone to C5 Neighborhood Commercial Zone.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank the council for their diligence through final reading and without objection, move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items 5A through F with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. So ordered. We have no ordinances on first reading this evening. Madam Clerk, with no objections from the council, would you please read 7A, B, and C together as a package, please?
Yes. Item A, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to execute a lease with OBC Properties Delaware LLC and substantially the form attached for the lease of approximately 9,084 square feet of space for operation of the public library in the 5900 building, Suite 1500, 5705 Marlin Road, for the term of 5 years for the annual rent of $94,980. Item B, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to enter into amendment number 2 and a fourth agreement to exercise option to renew with Friends of the Zoo, Inc. in substantially the forms attached to extend the term for an additional period of 60 days to the date of May 14, 2022. Item C, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to apply for and, if awarded, to accept Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Brownfield Revolving Loan Fund, RLF, supplemental funding from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, bipartisan infrastructure law, for an amount up to $5 million.
Councilwoman Burrs. We have a motion on the floor to approve items 7A, B, and C with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Madam Clerk, under Human Resources, let's read 7D and E, please.
Item D, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Gabriella Gray as Special Police Officer unarmed for the McCamey Animal Center to do special duty as prescribed herein, subject to certain conditions. Item E, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Seth Watson as Special Police Officer unarmed for the McCamey Animal Center to do special duty as prescribed herein, subject to certain conditions.
What is the pleasure of the council? All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 7D and E with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Madam Clerk, moving now to 7F.
A resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Celeste Murphy as the Chief of Police.
Councilwoman Knoll.
I make a motion to approve.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Well, I have to second the nomination of the sister from Atlanta.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Chief Murphy, congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No, you've got it. Since you're up there, you've got to say, come on now.
Is it working? Okay. You know, I'm at a loss for words, which is rare, but this is really, really a proud moment for me. And I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to share the passion that I have for this profession and to be able to, I also want to thank those in here in support as well. The city, the council, and the police department have all welcomed me, and I'm ready to do my best for you. I'll give you 150%. So thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, now moving to Planning and Parks and Public Works, Madam Clerk, 7G and H together, please.
Item G, a resolution approving a special exceptions permit for a new liquor store located at 1616 Broad Street. Item H, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, for contract number T15032-101 South Chickamauga Greenway, Youngstown, to drill an unexpected amount of rock which requires extending construction, engineering, and inspection CEI by Arcadis US Inc. for an increase of $187,254.65 for a revised contract total amount of $242,350.83.
What's the pleasure of the council? All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 7G and H with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. The chair abstains. Motion carries. Moving now to purchases. Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, we have 9 purchases. The first is from the Waste Resources Division of Public Works. This is a price increase for land application of biosolids. Denali Water Solutions LLC submitted a price increase of 10% for the fuel components on the contract. This is due to the change in U.S. Department of Energy fuel prices for the Gulf Coast. No additional funds are being requested, and the annual amount remains at $2.6 million. Approval is required to apply the increase to the fuel line items on the purchase order. Item 2, also Waste Resources Division, new blanket contract for special line and tank cleaning services. 2 bids were received, and the award goes to Tradebe Environmental Services and Performance Contracting, Inc. as the best bids meeting specifications. This will be a 4-year contract with an annual amount not to exceed $2,500,000. Item 3, Public Works, purchase a bike share station system Kiosk and hardware equipment for Bike Chattanooga. This is a sole source procurement with PBSC Urban Solutions, Inc. in the amount of $199,932, half of which is covered by the Lyndhurst Foundation grant. Item 4, Fleet Management Division, Public Works, second final renewal of contract for automotive filters. Lee Smith, Inc. submitted a price increase of 2.3% at the time of renewal with an annual amount not to exceed $25,000. Fifth, Parks Maintenance Division, Parks and Outdoors, new blanket contract for grounds maintenance of downtown city parks. 2 bids were received, and the award goes to City Green Services as the best bid meeting specifications. This will be a 4-year contract with an annual amount not to exceed $75,000. Sixth, Parks Maintenance Division, Parks and Outdoors, excuse me, purchase replacement of the lighting system at Hixson Youth Athletic Association ball fields. This purchase utilizes Sourcewell contract 07169 MSL. The vendor is Musco Sports Lighting LLC, and the amount is $174,270. Also, with the Parks Maintenance Division, purchase replacement of lighting system at Lookout Valley Youth Athletic Association ball fields. This purchase utilizes Sourcewell contract 07169 MSL. The vendor is Musco Sports Lighting LLC, and the amount is $265,769. Eighth, from the Facilities Division, payment of an invoice against a previous purchase order for lease of mailroom equipment with Pitney Bowes. Council approved a new blanket contract for lease of mailroom equipment and postage that was approved by City Council last week, actually. But we require approval for a new invoice of $9,720 on the previous purchase order because it brings the total amount above $29,160. And then finally, with information technology, new blanket contract purchase agreement for reporting in Oracle Cloud. Splash BI is a business intelligence application that replaces the GL Connect application used with the previous version of Oracle. This is a sole source procurement from Splash Business Intelligence, Inc. The amount for the first year includes implementation and is $174,278. The annual amount for years 2 through 5 is $89,687.50 per year.
Council, you've heard the request for tonight's purchases. What's the pleasure? We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed is no. So moved. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have one RFP format tonight. We're requesting approval to issue this RFP, not approval to awarding contracts at this time. The RFP is for a complete redesign of the City of Chattanooga website and related .gov applications. We have an outline of what type of delivery is needed, but there are multiple vendors, platforms, and approaches. Therefore, an RFP is needed to evaluate the best vendor based on the criteria other than price alone.
Councilman Ledford?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move the RFP for IT.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Any opposed is no. So moved.
Thank you.
That takes us now to committee reports. Councilwoman Knoll. Hit your screen. Just tap your screen and it'll come on. There we go. Oh, yes, ma'am.
No report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dotley? Vice Chair Smith?
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Burrs?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Budget and Finance Committee have no report. However, Redistricting Committee does have a report, and that is to announce that there will be a public input session on March 29th at 6 o'clock here. Each person will have, as usual with our public input sessions, 2 minutes to speak, and we have an hour time limit. That's the last piece of input other than among the districts. And so I just wanted to make that announcement.
Thank you. Councilman Hester? Councilman Ledford? Councilwoman Hill? Thank you. Under other business this afternoon, Mr. Attorney, I think we have a certificate of compliance.
Yes, sir. It's for Imbibe LLC, DBA Imbibe Wine, Spirits, and Beer. It's at 1616 Broad Street. This is simply a change in the ownership. All of the criteria for distance and the folks that are involved have been met.
All right, and I think you need 5 signatures
Yes, sir.
on a piece of paper.
Yes, sir. I'll pass it around.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
As that is going around, Madam Clerk, I'd like to announce an appointment this afternoon of Mr. Ray Adkins to the Board of Zoning Appeals. That's Ray Adkins to the Board of Zoning Appeals. And that takes care of all of our agenda items this afternoon. And it brings us to the time that we recognize those of you in the audience that would like to address the council this afternoon. I think we probably have a few that would like to address the council, so I'm going to ask the attorney if he would to read the rules to address the council, and you can begin to make your way to the podium.
Okay, at the end of every council meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public.
I don't think you're.
Well,
There
sorry,
we go.
there we go. At the end of each council meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public that wish to address the council. Here are your rules. Each person needs to come forward to be recognized at the microphone. No person can have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not upon matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies. You can't use any vulgar, obscene language nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not make comments towards individual council members. Having stated that, please go ahead, sir.
Hold on 1 second before you do. We need 3 minutes on the clock. Give us your name and you can begin.
Yes, I'm Brett Starnes. I don't have a district here in Chattanooga. I'm just was homeless here in Chattanooga, and I'm just trying to speak on that today. Well, I come here to give support to friends I made while I was living in Chattanooga, and also voice my support of the idea of tiny homes. I want to express the importance of getting this done immediately. Accomplish, finish, stop making plans, just get it done, take action. And I see at the community kitchen that there's a type of shelter that has been built, but it was put behind a locked fence, and it's all nice and good, nice shelter, but like it was like 17 and snowing the other day, and you have this beautiful fancy shelter that's been built in front of all these homeless people behind a locked fence, and it's like, how do you? That's the most heartless thing I've seen since I've been here in Chattanooga. And, I really wanted to just show my support for getting that. I mean, it's a nice shelter, but just getting more built and getting them done so people like Jessica, Dustin, Ralph can have a place that's secure and dry to sleep at night. And it's one of the things that it makes me really upset to see happening. There's a lot of good people out there on the streets that have made either a bad decision or just had hard times following because of COVID. And they're trying to figure out a way to. There's some more friends right here that also, I've met while my time of being homeless. They're good people, and they just need the city support and getting this idea of tiny homes finished, accomplished. Not tomorrow, not the next day, but now. So yeah, thank you. And I have 60 seconds left. I'll stand here so y'all can think on what I just said, please. And none of the things I'm not a public speaker, and this is my biggest fear. And without the support of my buddy Joshua Capellish, I would not be right here right now. I got a job. I have a stable place to live because of him. And I'll try to go through all the programs that y'all have put forth in front of me, but it's pretty much impossible without transportation, phone, and think the hardships of just being homeless in general. And then somebody sends all these links, these phone numbers and all that, but it's hard to do when you don't have support or a home. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm
Give us
Sarah
your-
Harwood.
I'm sorry?
I'm Sarah Harwood.
Okay.
I am coming to you guys today to talk to you about a personal matter. Me and my fiance had just started working, and we put in, we called the housing authority and put in a application for the housing authority, and they said that we should definitely be able to get approved and that it shouldn't take longer than 2 to 3 weeks for us to be able to get housing. But while we're working right now, we have food stamps and we've been buying food. I'm pregnant, and I've been buying food, and I've been having really bad nausea. So there's just certain food I can eat. And while we're at work, we come back and all our food's gone. So we've gone through all our months of food stamps and we have no food. And right now, this is my third day without eating. I was just able to get some insurance today. But I was wondering, since it's only going to take like 2 weeks to 3 weeks to get into a house, if there was like any type of government assistance program that could possibly get us into a hotel or a motel or some type of temporary housing just for like a week or 2 weeks, at least just a week, so I can have a week of, eating properly. But that was pretty much.
Joda, where are you? Is Sam here? Okay, ma'am, if you would get with Joda after the meeting and see if we can find a way to help you. Thank you. You can go ahead and reset the time to 3 minutes, please. Go ahead.
My name is Dustin Lambus. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Just to elaborate more what my fiance said, we're living in a tent. Some females out there are even scared to come out their tents because of what people do to them. I've seen firsthand of the drugs on 11th Street, and the drug dealers that are on there. And I don't believe that the Chat PD is doing their best to prevent these things from happening. I've seen most of the people, women who's got raped and beat up, they're out there living in fear. And there's nothing that Chat PD has done to help that. Now, I can't speak for myself because the charges I've committed and the crimes I committed, but as a man who's changing his ways, not only for himself, but for his unborn child who's on the way. And a little bit what she said, that we're looking for just a motel room for 2 weeks till we could be approved for housing. And right now she's scared to even come out her tent because her being pregnant, somebody might retaliate on her. Our food's been stolen, and there's just a lot been going on. The trash in our area, and that's not healthy for a pregnant woman to be in. The tent where we're sleeping at is trash everywhere. They have a couple back there with dogs who beat their dogs, don't clean up after their animals. And they're fighting every day. It's causing stress upon her and upon me, because when I tell him something, he wants to get all courageous and ready to fight. And for me to put my hands on somebody will be illegal. So instead of me speaking, I got to walk away. So I was asking if there's any way council can help us get a motel room for at least 2 weeks to approve the housing. That's what I'll be grateful.
I think the chief of staff is going to get with you.
I would also like to speak to the chief of police too, if you don't mind.
She's sitting right behind you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, boy. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm not a public speaker. I'm very nervous right now, but I'm stepping out on behalf of the tiny homes too, because as a female, it's more privacy. You changing clothes in the tent, even with the window zipped up and the rain fly on, somebody's gawking. Like this young lady, I'm scared to come out too. But being behind a locked door is, yeah, somebody could tear the door off, true enough, but they're less likely to do that than to cut your stuff up or to steal your stuff. We've been in the one that Josh has built since January, and nobody has messed with our stuff. So it's been a great source of comfort and being able to go to work and come back and my stuff be there. Or, get up and go to work and have a dry place to sleep, because a lot of places that the tents are setting, it floods and water comes up to the floor and your stuff's just soaked. And it's wintertime. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I feel like that it's great. It's 10 times better than a tent. At least we're not going to burn up, or somebody's not going to come by and cut our home up. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Go
My
ahead.
name's Ralph Curtis. I'm here on behalf of the tiny homes and Josh and them. It is a lot better. It keeps the wind off, the cold air, better than a tent. Mainly tents are only good for hiking and camping. That's what tents are mainly used for. They're not really meant to be out on the streets. I have experienced this a lot over the years, and it is a lot better being in one of those tiny homes. I think there should be more of them. And they're a lot safer knowing that your stuff is there. And as long as you got friends too, to keep an eye out on your place too, that helps, and a dog. And I just think there should be more of them, because I've seen tents catch on fire pretty quick. I have also had to put out a fire to keep one of these from burning up. A tent, try to put out a tent fire. It didn't work too well. Even the police officer couldn't hardly get out the other side. But the fire department came and put that out. I have also had to put out someone that was acting stupid that threw a fire in one of the tiny homes, and I put it out in time without having to call the fire department. If it wasn't for this man, Josh, right here, for the fire extinguisher, I probably wouldn't have got that done. That's all I have to say. And the smoke detector and the carbon monoxide detectors. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Amanda Lopez. I'm here on a safety issue. First, I would like to ask a question. Is there a noise ordinance in this town?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I thought there was. I happen to live on the Market Street Bridge right across from the aquarium. Every weekend, cars, motorcycles, anybody with a loud muffler flies across that bridge to the North Shore, flies back, back. This goes on all night, Friday and Saturday evenings. I happen to attend church and I'm sickly and I need my rest to be able to get up and go to the Lord's house. But I would like to praise the non-emergency police because every time I have called them, they have kind of come and gotten things quietened down. But I don't feel like I should have to call them every week. I don't feel like they should have to come out there every week. I have thought of a way to remedy this problem if no one else can. I think that Market Street Bridge should be closed off at a certain time on Friday night and on Saturday night because there's the Ojati and they won't be racing across it because they won't get the reverb between the two buildings. And I would really appreciate your help with that because there are other residents that live in those apartments and they are as equally disturbed. Not only is it aggravating, it's a hazard. If someone were to fall off the sidewalk into the traffic, it could be a very disastrous situation. And a lot of people walk the Market Street Bridge. I would say probably more than the Walnut Street Bridge because I watch the same people go back and forth every day to work and come back the afternoon. And I also see people going across to attend church. So I would say there needs to be a pretty quick solution to this problem to keep a baby or something from falling out. I saw a man today, he was coming toward me and he fell over on his bicycle. Thank God he fell toward the bridge. And had he fallen out into the traffic, we would be reading his obituary tomorrow. Thank you.
Hey, I'll go ahead and start. I'm Megan Godfrey. I've been helping Josh Capellish with the tiny home project, or just building tiny homes for our people that are out there. I know it's getting some backlash, but I just wanted to stand up here today and tell you guys the good news that I've seen. A lot of times we come up here and we give you, what needs to be done, what we wish we could do with you guys, but I just wanted to come and tell you guys all of the growth that I've seen. Miss Jessica has a job now, that way she can provide for herself. She's moving up now that she's been in a tiny home. I'm getting shaky now that I'm at 1 minute in. So the other day we were able to build 2 more tiny homes in front of your gate. And 2 women were able to move into those homes. One was in the snow without a shell on top of her tent. The other one was going through a traumatic experience that I've also experienced, and it was nice to be able to see her get some rest. People like this, people like us are out there waiting on you guys, us guys, anybody to help. And I'll just keep building until something happens. That's all I have. Thank you. I have 1 minute and 22 seconds left. Does anybody have anything to say to me?
I'm not seeing any lights.
You're not seeing any what?
I'm not seeing any lights.
Likes?
In other words, nobody's pressing their button to ask questions.
Okay. Well, I'll just stand here the rest of my minute. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, hold on, hold. I need you to speak from the podium, please. Yes.
I do think it's important to note people over profit as well. And I love Chattanooga.
Hello, I'm Joshua Capellish. I'm an advocate for homeless people in the city, unsheltered citizens of this community. This city of Chattanooga is full of great people. Some of them, a lot of you are sitting up here. It takes a lot of courage to stand up for other people, whether it's a representative, official manner, or in other ways. We all work together, and it's important that we pick up people when they fall down. There's so much work that's been done out there. And that silence we experienced is an amount of work that the city of Chattanooga has done. Brett was in the first house we built, and he helped build 4 more. He makes more money than I do now. I'm not kidding. I wish, anyway, he's a good man. He's out by me now. I'm taking care of him. And back where he got attacked by dogs. His hand was infected, and I brought him out of there. I couldn't leave him. It's a wingman concept in the military. There's another Marine right there. We got 2 veterans right here. We can do better, Chattanooga. And I know that we can become the first city to solve homelessness, but we can't do it alone. We work together. And I will not stand by while my friends sit out there in the cold, okay? They're not freezing to death. They're just chilling, according to my son, who's 14 years old, who comes here as well. They're just chilling. They're waiting. But the time's up. Y'all already emailed you at 4:50 with her information. Y'all called me back, too, for the first time. Okay, so we got an elderly lady out there on a dock in a wheelchair who I couldn't find to build a house for because she was probably inside. I'm not sure, but there's nobody to push her. Miss Joe, y'all have that information too. So Saturday, when y'all had 4 inches of snow, I already put 80 miles on, checked in at 9 o'clock, and checked out at 4:50. We had 13 volunteers. We built 2 homes in 4 hours for $400. Megan went out and found 2 people we had never met. 3 people. Because at some point we were finishing the work, and I said, we got to find somebody to put someone in this home. So we found the people with the worst tents. There were tents blown over, caved in by snow, and we got 3 more people off of 11th Street, the same street that we're on right here. We got more folks stepping up, and I thank you for that. And because I've only got 3 minutes. I served my country for 4.5 years. I drive a long way to get here. The other day we missed the meeting, but we got to make more time. We got to make time for these folks. We got to free up resources, and we got to love people. We got to show our support. We got to care. There's a lot of work to be done out there, and it's just a matter of getting it done. We got a big old parking lot out there that's locked up with nobody in it. We've been building on the perimeter. I've been operating in a gray area. I've let y'all know what I'm doing to sort of get help. We need to move forward. There's a tiny house down there that looks beautiful, and it's behind a chain link fence, just like Brett said. You wouldn't eat a sandwich in front of a homeless person. How dare you put a house behind a chain link fence with nobody in it? Now let's open it up and get people in there. Y'all have a lot of money to deal with. Let's spend some on folks that need it the most. I thank you for your time, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you and for you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
My name is Avery Fairburn. I'm here to speak to the council about CPD shooting Jonathan Finley exactly a week ago today. Mr. Finley was visiting his grandfather's grave in the National Cemetery. According to others who saw him that day, he seemed to have been experiencing a mental health crisis. The police were called, and since no body cam footage has been released, all we know for sure is that 1 or more CPD officers shot Mr. Finley. Unlike the over 60 people that CPD has killed since 1978, Mr. Finley survived. After only 1 day of medical treatment for his gunshot wounds, he was imprisoned in the New Hamilton County Jail. Judge Christine Sell set his bond at $25,000. While Mayor Kelly has been touting the new CPD mental health unit as a solution to CPD's rampant violence, it was nowhere on the day that Mr. Finley was killed. Instead of being met with someone trying to get him resources and help, he was met with loaded guns. It begs the question, to me at least, who runs this city? Who actually makes decisions and who makes sure those decisions are implemented? Council members and Mayor Kelly, do you have the ability to stop CPD from killing people? Because I'll tell you what it looks like to me. It looks like CPD answers to no one. It looks like they do whatever they want. It looks like cops in this city know they can act with impunity and receive no consequences. If that's not true, if you and the mayor care about the people who live in this city, then you should demonstrate it. The cops who shot Mr. Finley should be fired without pay and arrested for attempted murder. We deserve a plan from the new police chief on how she will stop this from ever happening again. There must be real accountability, not nice words, not promises, but actions. We will be watching.
Corey Evett, District 5. I just want to thank all these people sharing their experiences today. I was not prepared to hear all that. And for them to take the time out of their evening to come out here, it means a lot to hear those stories. And I just want to thank them. I can only share my personal experience. And as someone that has attended pretty much every city council meeting, either in person or virtually over the last year, what I've seen in terms of housing that concerns me is a lot of people that look like me show up in opposition to housing, which is something we obviously drastically need. There's not a lot of incentive for people to show up and say we want housing in our backyards, but I just want to say as somebody that lives on District 5, stone's throw from District 6, I live on Brainerd Road. I took the number 4 bus here tonight that connects downtown to Hamilton Place Mall. I think there's a lot of opportunity for high density, low cost housing that we need to take advantage of. I just want to say that I do want housing in my backyard. I do want this council to move as quickly as possible to get housing built, to get low cost housing built, to get people on the bus lines transported to our commercial centers, to our downtown area. And I just want to thank you all for taking that action, and please, please escalate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barry Kidwell. I'm actually a pastor at First Centenary United Methodist Church, and I do Mustard Tree Ministries, which is also a ministry that worked out on the street. And I'm proud to say I'm a friend of Josh's. And I'm here to ask that he be allowed to continue to build these little shelters. I don't know if you guys have ever gone out after these rainstorms and all we've had and tried to help people get blankets that are soaking wet from being in the rain. These shelters are at least keeping people from having to go through a numerous amount of blankets. It's a place where there's out of the wind and out of the weather. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen anybody that's tried to heat their tent with a candle and the tent catch on fire. You know, in these shelters, you wouldn't have to do that because the wind's not going to blow in on you. I know that Josh knows that it's not a permanent solution, but it's at least something temporary while we work on a permanent solution. I have a ticket to the mayor's affordable housing thing on Thursday. I'm going to be there to hear what his ideas are, or what the ideas of the city are, and to support those because I understand that they're pretty good. But also will speak on behalf of the fact that a few years ago, the ministry that I do tried to build a community for people to be able to get off the street. We have a 16-acre little mini farm. You know, I was challenged that I don't know what a farm is, and I'm like, I worked dairy farms for 20 years. I know what the heck a dang farm is. You know, when you milk 400 head of cattle. It's not a huge farm, but it's a place where we're going to build tiny houses to house people and to also employ people in some of the things that we do. weren't shot down by you guys, thank God. We were shot down by the county, because people didn't want it in their backyard. And that's something I know we'll have to deal with. But I think that until we come up with a good permanent solution for my friends, that Josh has a good idea. It keeps people dry. It keeps people able to protect their stuff. It keeps people out of the weather. It keeps people out of harm's way. I mean, how many folks I know that get their tent cut and everything stolen? How many folks I know that, just can't feel comfortable going to their job without paying somebody to watch their stuff. And so they're trying to work and then having to pay somebody to watch their stuff and get stolen. And in these little shelters that Josh is building, it can help with a lot of those things. So I hope that you allow him to continue to build them. Thank you.
Marie Mott, District 8. The riskiest thing we can do is just maintain the status quo. You can't allow tradition to get in the way of innovation. There is a need to respect the past, but it's a mistake to revere the past. Status quo is a losing strategy. Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. The fact that the full emotional display of the community is yet present here is both exhilarating but questionable about where this council stands on what legacy we're going to build for the future. We have people here demanding permanent and supportive housing to get off of the street and are willing to build it. Will you get behind them? We have people here that want to see changes within a racist police department that is abusing the citizenry. And we know it because we've been through Desmond Logan, Piazza, and several different officers, Ricky Ballard, who we gave a last chance agreement to keep him employed so he could sexually assault cadets. We've been through this before. The question I was asked last week by Councilwoman Hill was, do I want to work with the council? I want to reverse that question. Does the council want to work with the people? You represent us and the best of what we have to offer for the future. And that's going to require us to let go of a status quo, the way that we've always done the business of Chattanooga, and to embrace innovation, which is a new idea, a new methodology, a new product, a new way of doing something different that is beneficial to people who we often leave out of the conversation. And so the challenge is before you this evening, and I want to give some solutions. First of all, Cahoots, that is a national plan that's been so well when it comes to 911 response for mental and behavioral health. They expanded in Eugene, Oregon to an additional county to serve their people. Why not look at Cahoots? Todd Lipka with Step Up Second out of California came in 2020 and talked to us about permanent supportive housing. And that was actually an initiative under Littlefield. What happened to the plans for the homeless? We need permanent behavioral health response for 911 calls by qualified specialists other than police, as well as we need trained peacekeepers in our community that can be violence interrupters. And most of all, the fact that we had community activists that got over 5,000 signatures for an independent oversight community into the police for misconduct. That is a move that you guys should implement in replacement of Park. The people have spoken. We shouldn't have to put that on a ballot to get you to listen to us. Please, the people are asking you, black, white, brown, man, woman, homeless, to partner with us and give us a new Chattanooga.
Hey, my name is Will, and first of all, I'm not a very good public speaker, okay? Except in a spiritual setting, in a church. I'm a contemporary Christian songwriter, singer. I play guitar. I just want to tell you what a blessing that this little house has been to me. When I arrived in Chattanooga, I had some major setbacks, okay? So I came here with a few dollars from a job I had in another part of in another state in the state of Georgia, pardon me. So I arrived here, and I was in a tent for a while in a little camp, right? But I'm a senior citizen. I'm like the 25th of this month, I'll be 72, okay? So I get there, right? And when I'm alone in the tent, right, at night, because all the people around me are younger, God bless them, are younger than myself. So, I would have times, it wasn't all the time, but I have times when I would be thinking, well, is somebody going to come from behind me, and hit with a big club in the back of my tent, right? I would be thinking, there have been tents set on fire with, I don't know, with people in them. I imagine there have. I haven't heard that with people in them, okay? So, these things kind of play on you, but my faith was there, right? And I knew the Lord would protect me, right, in the long run, but or in the short run. But when Joshua told me about these little houses that we're building, I was so excited. And then when he told me that he had a calling from God to help the homeless, and in a particular area, which is area of expertise. So I'm going to wrap this up, y'all. God bless you. Thank you very much for hearing me. But the peace of God came over me when I got in this little house, okay? I had already written a song, my last song. It's called The Peace of God, which passes all understanding. And if I had more than 20 seconds, I'd ask you if I could sing it, but I don't have it 16. But God bless you, and I thank you all. And just remember that the one above is in this work through this man. God bless you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Megan Swisher from District 4. And first of all, like the gentleman before me from District 5, I don't know where you are, but I was not prepared to hear all of this today. I came here for a very different reason. So thank you guys for sharing your story. Very compelling. I think Chattanooga needs to work with this man over here that wants so bad to help and has the resources to do that. But moving on to the reason I came, I'm here to bring awareness to and start a conversation about the incredible amount of trash on our roadsides, our roadways, highways, neighborhood roads, everywhere. What would be considered good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, whatever, it's everywhere. And it seems like as soon as it gets picked up on the highway, it's right back there. I see the blue bags everywhere, thousands of them, it seems like. I live in East Brainerd. I've been there for the better part of 18 years. I love the city. I love the area. Right now, leaving my house is, I'm thankful to have a house, number one. I get down every time. It's so bad on Morris Hill Road. I've gone out there and picked up. Took about an hour. I got 3 big trash bags. I was by myself on a busy road. Tried my best not to get hit by a car. Thankfully, I didn't. That was about a quarter-mile stretch in a suburban neighborhood, and out there it seems like it's just trash being thrown out the windows. It's liquor bottles, beer bottles, drink bottles. And I've been in contact with Darren Ledford, and he's really been supportive and has a lot of ideas. And I'm just here to voice my support for a potential Earth Day initiative, and I want to go out and help. And there's a lot of interest in my area and other areas as well of citizens that want to help and get the city cleaned up. There's just no reason for trash to be on the roadside. That's about it. So I'm here to help. I want to help. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairperson, Council, I'd just like to commend you guys for the approval of the first Black female police chief. This morning when I got up, I was not planning on being here, But when I saw that this was going to happen, I wanted to come. The reason being is because my father was a policeman in the late 60s, in the 70s, early 70s, when he joined the force, as well as Carissa Mosley. Her father was a policeman at the same time. Now, I do have a friend back here as well, Carlos Cooper, that I went to junior high school with, that was a policeman. A side note, I'd just like to commend the job, or the courageous job that the policemen do. I couldn't do it, but I like to commend them on the job that they do, because you have to be courageous. But my father, when he was a policeman, I don't think at that time that he could have imagined what just happened today, a history-making event. For the council to be courageous, to follow the mayor's lead, to select a qualified. When I saw her resume, I was impressed. I was ashamed of the things that I've done because of how extensive her experience is. I could not question it. And if anyone did have a question about it, I would like to see their resume. So I just want to congratulate you guys on being courageous, and I'd like to be the first to welcome the new Madam Chief from the podium to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you.
So before you leave, could you give us your name for the record, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alonzo Jarrett.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Dr. Evelina Holmes, Glenwood. I too would like to welcome our chief. And thank you for the nomination, the approval, and the whole process. One of the things that, another reason I wanted to come up and talk about this subject is that Marie Mott brought up a program they have in Eugene, Oregon, that during Mayor Kelly's campaign, I worked along with him regarding that particular program. It's one that it's like more or less a public health unit, but the 911 must be educated as to where to direct the call. And they have social workers and they have mental health workers, and they may involve or include the police with them. But we don't want the lights and things going when it's a mental health issue. And it adds to the problem. So I don't know whether he's going to develop that. One of the things I've been trying to encourage people to do is get the police out of the schools. And there are places, I think we ask too much of our police, we ask too much of our teachers that should be directed in other areas. And we just need more resources in the areas to help the people that really need the help. But I want to thank you for bringing us a fantastic chief. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Council, I am not seeing anyone else that would like to address us this afternoon. What is your pleasure? So moved, we're adjourned.